What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new edition of Touchdown Texas. I'm your host, Shiva Patel, and my co host here, Nick Rodriguez. Lots of stuff happening at the University of Texas. We're here to talk about it. But first of all, how are you doing, Nick?
I'm doing good, man. Excited to be back and talk about some Longhorns football.
Definitely. So, in this episode, we're going to be talking about, of course, Kevin Durant, former Longhorn, being traded to the Houston Rockets. Trey Johnson, a former Longhorn, is going to be drafted into the NBA tomorrow. Then we have some football topics. We're going to be talking about iconic moments in Texas football history. So, be sure to stay tuned for that. And definitely talk about CJ Baxter, Trey Wisner. Is there a running back competition brewing in Austin, Texas, and our QB commit Dia Bell winning the Elite 11 MVP. But before we get started, I wanted to say be sure to follow us on our social media channels at touchdown_Texas. And be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be sure to watch our previous episodes that me and Nick have been doing throughout the off season. And we have some fun stuff coming up that we're going to be announcing very soon. So stay tuned for that. But let's talk about the big news of the last couple of days. Kevin Durant getting traded to the Houston Rockets. He was with the Suns, and now he's with the Rockets back in Texas. What is your reaction to this trade?
Well, this is awesome. He comes back to Texas, like you said. It was kind of coming down to three teams. It was Houston, it was Miami, and it was San Antonio. So that's not all that surprising that he landed in Houston, but really they didn't have to give up a ton, right? They gave up Jalen Green. They gave up the 10th pick. They gave up Dylan Brooks. This will be a great fit for him. Amin Thompson, Oprin Shingun, KD. They were already the 2 seed last year, and they got bounced by the Warriors in the first round this year. So he's definitely going to be, a great addition to their team. And I'm excited to see him back in Texas and see what he can do with the Rockets this year.
I was so happy for him. I thought this was the best fit for Kevin Durant. His best friend and college teammate, Royal Ivy, another former Longhorn, is on the Houston Rockets staff. Durant was the best man at Royal Ivy's wedding, so they go back a ways back. Ime Udoka, he's really close with him, the head coach. DJ Augustine is in the Houston area, former Longhorn. TJ Ford runs an academy in Houston, Texas. So Houston, Texas is kind of Longhorn U outside of Austin in the state of Texas. So what a great fit. Let's just talk about the basketball scheme because the Rockets needed shooting. Yes, they're a very young, athletic, back and forth team to watch, but they struggled offensively to put the ball in the hole, and that reared its ugly head in the series against the Golden State Warriors. So Kevin Durant's going to be able to space the floor. They did not give up any of the assets that they really wanted to keep. They were going to get rid of Jalen Green anyways. They got to keep Jabari Smith, Reed Shepherd, Tari Eason, Fred VanVleet. So that is going to add a lot of floor spacing, and Durant is a very valuable player on the offensive end of the floor. He has a smooth game. He's still been averaging like over 20 points a game, even at age 36. He is a walking bucket, Kevin Durant is. I really like this fit, and I think the Houston Rockets are going to be a dangerous team this year. So now that leads into the next question. Are the Rockets the contender now for the NBA Finals?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. I mean, like you said, he feels a need with the scoring. Durant is still one of the best scorers in the NBA right now, and he's one of the all-time greatest scorers ever just because he's so lanky, he's so long, he's got a good dribble, he can get to pretty much any spot he wants to, and if you get to him, he's so tall, he's got such a good release that it's really hard shot to block. So he feels a perfect need for him. He's got a championship pedigree. He won 2 with the Warriors. He was Finals MVP, I think, for both of them, at least for one of them. He's got an MVP. Yeah, okay. So he's been there before. The Rockets were a championship contender to me last year, right? They were just a little young. They ran into a buzzsaw with the Warriors, who, again, they've been there before with Steph and Draymond. They know how to win those kinds of games, and it was just a tough matchup. But now you add KD, still one of the most prolific scorers in the NBA. Yeah, they're going to be damn good. They're going to be right behind OKC, who just won the championship. So that'll be awesome. I would have OKC 1, and then Houston too, probably at this point, just in the West. We can get through the East another time, but they would be right there again to me. I mean, they got better. I mean, clearly.
Oh, they definitely did. They added a high-level superstar, the Houston Rockets did. They had a great step this year. They needed to build the foundation, get to the playoffs, get that experience, and they would have won that playoff series, but Buddy Hield went for 25 points in that Game 7. He went berserk. He had 8 3-pointers. It's probably the best game of his life. Buddy Hield. So he is a player that can come in. He's going to be an impact player for the Rockets. I like the fact that despite him being 37 when the season starts, he's going to be with the team at least 3 years. He has 1 year left on his current contract, and then he's going to get extended by the Rockets for 2 years. So they have a 3-year championship window the Houston Rockets have with their young guys. That opens up minutes for a guy like Jabari Smith, Reed Shepherd. So their young guys can continue to develop and hone in on their game. And Amen Thompson, like Nick said, is going to be a superstar. If he ever develops a jump shot, he is going to be a player that's going to be really, really good. And right now, I have OKC 1, like Nick said, but I actually have the Rockets and the Mavericks as 2A and 2B, depending on how Kyrie Irving comes back from his injury. Think about it. Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, Cooper Flag, and then that Max Christie guy is pretty good. So it might be, Mavericks and the Rockets dueling it out for number 2, and this was the right fit for Kevin Durant. So, Nick, before we move on, the NBA Finals did just happen. What was your reaction to the Oklahoma City Thunder winning the championship?
I mean, they've been the best team all season. They were probably the best team the last 2 years, them in Boston. I mean, first of all, hats off to Indiana just to make it a series. No one thought it would go past 5 games. It went past 6 games, went 7 games, and they were right in it. I mean, even with Halliburton tearing his Achilles, which, I mean, man, I was texting you. I think Indiana might win that game if he's healthy.
I agree.
Or if maybe he tears it late in the game, but he tore it like mid-first quarter. That sucks. There's no way around that. Indiana still battled. TJ McConnell, Benedict Mathurin they were contributing. I mean, they were doing everything they could. It's just you're missing a superstar in Halliburton, and they couldn't get it done. Hats off to SGA for having one of the greatest seasons of all time. MVP, championship, finals MVP. I mean, this is just the beginning for OKC. We were talking all about the Rockets and how good their future looks. They could win the championship this next year, definitely. But you got to watch out for OKC. This is a young team. They didn't even know how to drink or anything. I don't know if you saw the clips going around. The only one who knew how to drink was Caruso. They're all like very young and stuff. Fun team, but they're gonna be in it for a long time, and better get used to the Thunder winning some chips.
Yes, they were the best team all along. SGA had an amazing year. Jalen Williams silenced the doubters after having a bad playoffs.
Woo. Yeah.
Caruso, amazing. Their defense was stifling.
They're deep.
Off turnovers. They were able to get, because they're not the best shooting team if you look at it, Oklahoma City, but they're able to compensate with that by getting points in the paint, getting points off turnovers. But hats off to the Indiana Pacers. It was a whole team effort. Halliburton, Nembhard, Neesmith. Longhorn, Miles Turner, Hookup.
He got close.
He was very close.
He got so close.
Nobody thought the series was going to go 7 games. We hadn't had a game 7 in over 10 years. So it was a great series. And let's see now if Oklahoma City can repeat, because we have not had a repeat champion in 7 years, ladies and gentlemen, in the NBA. Let's see what's going to happen. But now let's talk about a former Longhorn that's going to be, his big day is tomorrow. Trey Johnson he declared for the NBA draft. He's going to be waiting to hear his name called tomorrow. Where do you see him getting drafted?
Based on where I've seen him, he's somewhere in the top 5. There's been some buzz about him going to the 76ers at number 3. But the main spots that I keep seeing him is definitely Utah. They definitely need a prolific scorer, someone who can get inside and score in all paints of the floor. I mean, this kid is very athletic. Still working on some consistency with his jump shot, but still he's very raw, and you know what you're going to be getting out of him. So Utah's a spot that I've seen. I've seen Philly kind of make a little interested in him. They kind of need to rebuild a little bit, so that'd be a team that would be interesting as well. But those two definitely stick out to me, and we'll see where he lands. But it's definitely going to be somewhere in the top 5, maybe 6 if he falls. But it's definitely looking like in that range, and maybe even Washington as well, who's a little bit lower.
Yes, so this is a huge moment for Trey Johnson. He had the best freshman season since Kevin Durant in Texas basketball history, averaging 20 points a game. He was amazing. 3-level score, 3 mid-range going to the basket. His step-back game is lethal. He already has pro moves just by getting his shot off. He needs to work on, sometimes he does take bad shots. I think that's what Nick was alluding to, but he can make tough shots as well. So he had a great freshman season for the Longhorns. I see him going either at Utah at 5, the Wizards at 6, or the New Orleans Pelicans at 7. Those are the 3 teams that I'm circling. He could go to Philly. There's been some buzz about Philly, but I think that they're either going to draft the Baylor kid, VJ Edgecombe, or Ace Bailey, who Ace Bailey may end up sliding. So maybe the Jazz or the Wizards would take a chance on Ace Bailey. Then that would slide Trey Johnson all the way up to 7. But I don't see him going past 7 or 8. There's a need for scoring in the NBA, creating your own shot, getting instant offense, and Trey Johnson contributes to that. And let's see where Trey Johnson is going to go. In the next pod, we'll react to the team that is going to get drafted by in the fit. But again, congratulations to Trey Johnson. His big moment is tomorrow night in the NBA draft. So me and Nick wanted to change it up a little bit. So a couple of episodes ago, we ranked the iconic Texas running backs from 1 through 6. But now let's rank iconic Texas football moments. So, of course, the 2005 National Championship, Vince Young, 4th and 5. We all know the story on the UNC 8-yard line. He runs for a touchdown. Texas wins the first national championship since 1970, 41-38. Justin Tucker kicks the game-winning field goal in College Station. Texas wins 27-25. The catch, it was 4th and inches in the 1966 Big 12 championship game against Nebraska from UT's own 28-yard line, and Longhorns only led by a slim margin, 30-27. They convert that. Texas wins their first Big 12 championship game. The roll left was the possible catch by Noble Doss, setting up Texas's only touchdown in the game against Texas A&M in 1940. Texas wins 7-0, and they prevented the Aggies from repeating as national champions and knocked them out of their Rose Bowl appearance. We know the 4th and 13 against Arizona State. Texas wins 39-31 in the quarterfinals of the College Football Championship game. Then Ricky Williams breaking the rushing record against A&M in 1998. Nick, I'm going to put you on the hot seat. Rank these iconic moments 1 through 6.
Man, these are some heavy duty moments here, right? You got a national championship. You got some game winners. Arizona State game sitting into overtime. You got some records, just important moments in Texas history. So I think easily for me, number 1 is the national championship. None of these other games were in a national championship game or season. So this would be number 1. It's the 05 Natty. Not only is it the greatest college football game of all time, it's also the greatest national championship of all time. It's our last national championship. It's to run in against USC on 4th and 5. Bevo's right there. The crowd's going wild. It stops a USC 3-peat, Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush. So that's easily number 1 for me. That was the easy part, is locking that in at the number 1 spot. 2 through 6 was a little tricky for me. I figured out how I'm going to go 2 and 3, and I'll work my way through. And it might be a little surprising, but this is just, to me, moments, and some of it will be biased just based on how I was when I was alive and things like that. But number 2 to me is going to be the win against A&M. The reason why is because it was at their place. It was in their barn. It was a back and forth game, obviously over Thanksgiving, right? And at the time, A&M was going to the SEC. Our contract was ending. We didn't play them until this past season, which was about 15 years, right? And of course, Justin Tucker, after Case McCoy, gets us down to the end of the field, kicks a game winner in their face, in their stadium, as they run with their tails between their legs to the SEC. And then, of course, we beat them again this past year, also at their stadium, which should have been a home game for us, but it wasn't, which is fine. So that's number 2, just because of how much that meant to Texas fan base. I mean, we didn't know if we were going to ever play them again. So that's number 2 for me. Number 3 is the rushing record, right? I mean, again, as you'll see, some of these are against arch rivals. USC, I consider an arch rival. Nebraska, A&M, multiple times on this list. So Ricky, he was not very far away from the rushing record. We're playing A&M, and he's a bruiser. Gets through the first level of defense, sheds off a few, and then I think he ends up scoring, or he gets down to the 1 yard line. And that is just, to me, such a Ricky way to get that freaking award. It's against your rival. It's towards the end of the season. Everything freaking matters. So that's why that one was 3. I thought about having that 2, but since I watched the Justin Tucker one live, I had to give that one some love and put that at number 2. This is where it gets really tough, because I had to do some research on the catch and the roll left. Obviously, the 4th and 13, everybody knows. I'm going to go with the roll left, number 4, right? Championship game. This is important. Championship game. So it's a Big 12 championship game. He rolls left. Big momentum. This is 1996. As Sheehan said before, this is our first Big 12 championship game, right? Few years after that, we win the national championship. Years after that, we had this big win against A&M. This kind of kickstarted everything. And this is in the prime, or maybe the decline of Nebraska at the time. So that will be number 4. Number 5 is going to be the 4th and 13. This is Quinn's last play. This could be it. It's over. We fell apart against Arizona State and Cam Scatterbo. But he drops back. He takes the protection. Matthew Golden's wide open. Hits him. Touchdown. OT. Winning OT. It'd be higher on the list if we end up winning the championship this year, or this is a semifinal game. But, oh, my God, what a freaking dime. We were there at this game. Incredible freaking play. And then number 6, the catch. Take us back to the 1940s. Also an amazing play. You got to look at the story on this. It's incredible. 1939, Texas A&M's last national championship, still their last national championship. We prevented them from repeating. This was, I think, the first drive of the game, the only score of the game. So we ended up winning.
Third play.
Third play, we ended up winning 7-0 against the Aggies. So we have the Aggies 3 times on this list, which is, to me, the best part here. But I'm going national championship number 1, the kick to beat A&M number 2, Ricky number 3, roll left number 4, 4th and 13 number 5, and the catch is number 6.
That is great. And I like the context that you added to a lot of those plays from your own experience and how big the moment was, because all these games were against our rivals. So, of course, the national championship doesn't need to be said. 2 out of the 3 Heisman finalists, Vince, Leinart, and Reggie Bush. We win in USC's backyard, the Rose Bowl, Pasadena, California. Mm-hmm. We win that game. That is number 1 for me. I actually have Ricky's rushing record number 2 just because of the magnitude of that moment, because they defeated number 6 A&M. I also picked that moment because it was at home at DKR, and it was just a big moment, and Ricky made Texas a cool school again. I'll say that again, because during that time in 1998, A&M was getting all the recruits in Texas, and they were seen as the cool school. Well, Ricky Williams changed that narrative, and he led to get us getting the players that we needed to win the national championship in 2005. So that's number 2 for me. Justin Tucker winning against A&M was number 2. Number 3 was the Justin Tucker winning against A&M, just because it was in College Station. We had a below average quarterback in Case McCoy, and we're still able to win that game. Last game until A&M went to the SEC. So that's number 3 for me. Number 4 is the catch, just because I just think that it was 7-0 the game. So that was such a big impact play in the 1940s, and I just think that without that, and preventing A&M from repeating as champions, that has to take some bearing for me because
For
it is
sure.
against our arch rivals in another game that was at DKR. Number 5 was a 4th and 13 play. We were there live. It would have been an upset if we had lost to Arizona State. Clutch play by Quinn, clutch catch by Matthew Golden, extending our season when all the momentum was against the Longhorns. When we had the big lead, we blew it, but we still came out with the victory. And then number 6 was the roll left. I know it was our first Big 12 championship game against a high quality opponent in Nebraska, but I just think that that moment deserves to be celebrated. But on this list, I would put it at number 6. So Nick, I was just asking, what does this say about Texas football when we have such a hard time ranking these 6 iconic moments?
Well, just thinking about it here, we have a moment from 2005, 2011, 1940, 1996, 1997, right? Ricky, is that 97?
98.
98, okay. And then 2020, I guess that's still 2025. So that just shows the deep history that Texas football has. Hopefully, in the next year or two, we can add even more names to the list, maybe another national championship that we can debate. That would be a real debate. Like, we went in 2025, 2026, 2028, whatever. Like, is that bigger than 05? Like, that's where the real debate comes in, just because we've had a little bit of a drought. But, yeah, it just shows our history. It shows we've done it in different ways. We got a running one. We got a throwing one. We got a championship, 4th down conversions, a kick, and only scoring the game. It's got everything, and that's what Texas football is all about.
It's definitely, and it just shows that his Texas football has a deep history, and the history is not done. Sarkisian and squad is going to continue to add to that, and let's see if we can get a national championship because I think we're going to win one in the next 1 to 2 years. So now let's move on to the next topic. So this was a list by Ari Weisman, college football players with breakout potential. So I'll just read you some of the names. Mekhi Hughes, who transferred from Tulane. He had a huge career at Tulane, but now he's going to Oregon. Luke Reynolds, who a lot of people at Penn State think he's going to be the next Tyler Ward or maybe even the level above him. Jacoby Lane, who's had some good moments as a wide receiver for USC. Our very own CJ Baxter. Julian Sayin, the quarterback at Ohio State. Mike Matthews from Tennessee. Dante Moore from Oregon. So let's just talk about CJ Baxter. What are your expectations for him this season? And do we have a running back competition in Austin?
I think we do, actually. By all accounts, it seems like he is right on track, did exactly back where he was before. Obviously, he's going to be sharing time with Trey Wisner. I still expect Trey to be the guy, at least for the first couple of weeks. It'll be interesting to see how they use him against Ohio State, just because that is such a big game. Obviously, we lost to them in our last game at the end of last season. They're the champs. So I just want to see how healthy he is for the first, until October. And then my expectations will change. Like, if we're getting an old CJ Baxter, we're going to be in some trouble here. Because when we have elite CJ Baxter, to me, he's the better running back than Trey Wisner. Trey Wisner is amazing. He's elite. He's an NFL running back. But CJ Baxter is another gear or two up. I just need to make sure that he's healthy. I need to make sure he's healthy and see how much he can contribute. To me, it would be Wisner's squad for the first 4 games. And then it's Baxter time, depending on health, because Baxter just takes you to a whole nother level. Even we were talking about it last year. Wisner is a beast. But if we had Baxter last year with Arch or with Quinn, it could have changed a lot of things, even that Ohio State game. And we love Trey Wisner here. So I do think we have a battle. I think Wisner does end up winning at the beginning. But you know how running back positions go. I mean, Jaden Blue was written off. And he had to do things to the receiving end because he kept fumbling it. So these guys are definitely going to share the load, and they're going to have to. But I think that would be a huge win towards the end of the season and the playoffs if we have both of these guys healthy and you don't even know who RB1 is.
I agree. So Trey Wisner is going to get the majority of the carries because CJ Baxter had a great freshman year, 659 yards in 2023. He was a big-time recruit. 5-star out of Florida. We stole him from Florida State in Miami. They really wanted him, and we stole him, got him out of the state of Florida. He's a big running back, 6'1". He showed potential his freshman year, but unfortunately, he had a season-ending injury in fall camp. Last year, so we missed the entire 2024, and we were worried about the running back position. But Trey Weiser comes in, gets 1,064 yards, continues Stark's streak of 1,000-yard running backs. Had huge games against A&M and a lot of other Kentucky. He had a good game against Oklahoma. So he definitely produced this year. And I just think that he's going to get the majority of the carries to start, but you cannot expect him to be healthy the entire season. So that's when CJ Baxter is going to start to come in and starting to share the carries. You're going to see once we get into SEC play, they're probably going to get even carries. CJ Baxter is more of a guy that can get downhill, can make you miss, or not make you miss, sorry, run over guys. He's a bigger running back. He's a more physical running back. Trey Weiser is more of the elusive running back with the wiggle and a guy that has a little bit more speed than CJ Baxter. But so those two guys are going to be lightning and thunder. And I'm really excited to see the potential. But also, let's not forget about Jarrett Gibson, who he was our short yardage back, baby Rhino. What do you expect from him, and how does he factor into this running back room?
I think goal line situations or 4th and 1s is going to be the prime spot for baby Rhino. I mean, think about him and Arch in the backfields. He's just low to the ground. He's got big legs. He can get low. He had some great carries as well throughout the season because we were a little banged up, because we couldn't always rely on Jaden Blue because he was fumbling at the beginning of the year. So he got some shots at it, and he got a little hurt throughout the year too. So I think he is perfect for goal line, 4th and 1, get over. You got Arch who can run as well. And then who knows, his role can expand even more than that. But you got two dogs right there. He's really going to have to fight his way in to get some playing time. And if that's the way you get in is through scoring or through blocking, that's the way you get in, and that's the way it's done. And we know if the coaches trust you, the quarterback trusts you, you're going to get some playing time. So he'll get in there. He's definitely RB3 at this point, but he'll get some touches, short yardage, I think, and that's a good way to get in and get started with Arch, especially. I don't know how much they played together really last year.
He is a huge running back that can break tackles.
Yeah.
He had a couple fumbles, but I just think that it was more of him not getting the touches, so he would be excited, and maybe try to fight for too many yards against three big defensive tackles. He learned from that. He kind of got thrown into the fire. He was our running back 3 last year as a true freshman, and so I'm really excited for his future. He's not going to be the lead back, but he's going to get some touches. He's going to be a short yardage guy. He may be used as a fullback, potentially as a blocking guy, because and misdirection. So look for him for that. I just like our running back room, how deep it is. Because remember, we also had Christian Clark, who redshirted last year because he also had a season-ending injury. We have a true freshman coming here, and James Simon from Louisiana, who's had a great spring so far. So we have 5 guys that can come in and be good running backs. So that's going to be huge for us. But the 2 leaders are going to be CJ Baxter and Trey Weiser. And we'll dive deep into this as we get closer to the season in fall camp when me and Nick do our position previews before the season. But let's look for a big year for CJ Baxter. Last thing we want to talk about was some football recruiting. So the Elite 11 MVP this year was Texas commit Dia Bell. He's a 2026 kid. He's going to be on campus in January. He's a 5-star quarterback. He's the first Texas QB commit to have won the Elite 11 MVP. So I wanted to ask you, Nick, how much stock do you put into the Elite 11? What are your overall thoughts about the competition?
Well, it's something that you could actually take quite a lot of stock out of. Usually something over the summer, you don't always take a look at it, but just scanning at the list of some of those guys, a lot of those guys are NFL guys and contributing to it. Justin Fields, Spencer Rattler, CJ Stroud, Caleb Williams, Cade Klubnik, Julian Sayin, Jackson Arnold, Tua, Keelan Russell, Dia Bell. So I do take a lot of stock out of it. I do think he's going to be a beast. This kid's 6'3". He's the son of Rajay Bell, the former NBA point guard. So he's very athletic. This kid loves Texas more than anybody I've ever seen. He's always posted about Texas. He's not even on campus yet, but he seems like an athletic freak. He seems like he's going to be an awesome kid to have on campus. And keep in mind, this is a big deal, right? Obviously, he's committed to us, but this is a kid who was offered by Ohio State, Penn State, LSU, Miami. So we went and got this kid. I believe he's from the Florida area.
Yep.
He's a dog. I'm very excited to see what he can do. And he's got a great arm, big arm, great talent. The quarterback room is going to be very exciting. When you start winning games, you start producing, and you have a guy like Sark who's like, oh, I can win with Quinn. Oh, I've won with Arch Manning. Oh, man, Dia Bell. I can win with Dia Bell. And the recruits start lining themselves up out the door, especially when they pair that with wide receivers and running backs and all that sort of stuff. So I'm excited for Arch Manning. I love Quinn Ewers, but I'm excited also for the future of Texas football and kids like this who just want to bleed burnt orange.
He loves burnt orange. We got him from Plantation, Florida, which is near Miami, the same school that actually produced Patrick Surtain. So it's a big time school. There's a lot of schools still recruiting him, like Florida State is still trying, Ohio State's still trying, but he is committed to Texas.
He's in.
We had our big weekend last weekend with all the 2026 commits, and Dia Bell being the headliner of the class. He was there trying to work on the wide receivers. He said a lot of other players are going to come on board and commit to Texas very soon. He's very confident about that. He's been doing some recruiting for us. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He comes from a big-time school. He had a big-time junior year. He has the arm strength, the accuracy. He stands in the pocket. He can run. He's athletic. He could throw on the run. He could make sidearm throws. He has a basketball background, obviously, with his dad, like Nick saying, being a former NBA player. They said if he actually tried, he would have been a D1 basketball player as well. So that just shows you the genes on this kid. He is going to be such a high-level player for us. He's coming in January, so not too many months away before he's officially a Longhorn. And this just speaks to the amount of quarterbacks that Sark is recruiting. Like, we got KJ Lakesy, who's a current freshman on campus. He's really good. Dia Bell. So we just continue to get that lineage of quarterbacks, and Dia Bell may not have to wait too long after he plays. He might be the heir apparent to Arch Manning after 2 years. Let's see, either him or Trey Owens. They're going to be in a quarterback competition.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Go
ahead.
I was saying not everybody pans out, right? So some are going to work out better than others. Some get hurt. Some things happen. So you just got to be prepared. And Trey Owens is waiting and wait. None of these guys are bums by any means. It's just all about fit. Who's going to pick up the offense faster? Who gets that edge between those guys? And obviously the guy is Arch, but Quinn Ewers held on to that for a long time. So you never know. It's my point. Alabama had a string of guys for a long time. So we'll certainly see if we can continue that mold here. We've had Ellinger, Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, we've had a lineage.
Let's keep it going.
That's how you're relevant in college football. And Dia Bell, he's a hard worker. He loves the game of football. He studies. He works on his craft. He got injured last year, but he continued to, put the time in the gym, recovering. His teammates love him. They said he's such a great leader. He's such a great guy on and off the field. He's a culture warrior, and that's what you need out of your QB commit. Whenever Sark commits on a guy and decides who he wants in his class, he's been batting 1,000 so far at Texas. And
other schools.
Other schools, exactly. Exactly. He got some criticism in Sark when he chose Trey Owens in the 2024 class, because Trey Owens wasn't a highly rated quarterback. But after you saw him produce in the spring game, Texas fans were like, wow, this kid can play. So Dia Bell is a top 5 quarterback in his recruiting class. He has some competition. 2026 recruiting class is really, really strong. Faison Brandon going to Tennessee, Jared Curtis going to Georgia. So Bell is in that category to be the number one quarterback in this 2026 class. And American Heritage, his team has expectations to go far in the playoffs. So they're going to have it. So let's watch now. We have to watch Bell and continue to see his development. But we're really excited. And shout out to Bell for winning the Elite 11 MVP. Well, thank you so much for watching this episode of Touchdown Texas. We hope you enjoyed us talking about the iconic games of the past moments for Texas football history. And be sure to follow us at touchdown_Texas at our social media channels. And we're getting closer to SEC Football Media Day. So there's plenty of coverage left as the polls start coming out. But until then, we'll see you next time and hook up.